Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Kneon. I am here with Geeky Sparkles.
Hello.
Boy, isn't this ironic. We're going to talk more about the Charlie Kirk situation as it pertains to pop culture, because now we have a lot of people getting fired for openly celebrating Kirk's death, and they're complaining about getting fired. They're saying that this is cancel culture. And it's ironic because a lot of these people perpetuated and, in fact, invented cancel culture to get rid of people that did far less than cheer on political violence.
Karma's a bitch.
What was it they were saying? Live by the sword, die by the sword. People were ecstatic that Kirk was killed by a gunshot wound because they were against his stance on the Second Amendment. So they're like, well, he had it coming. If you participated in cancel culture and you cheered it on, well, you had it coming, right? I mean, those are the rules, right? So we're going to talk about this. Live by the
keyboard, die by the keyboard.
There we go. Oh, God, that's a shirt. Live by the keyboard, die by the keyboard. There we go. Yeah, all you had to do, honestly, was keep your mouth shut.
Right. You can have your opinion on whatever, but you just don't go gloat about it on the internet, because you look like it's so vile and you just look so terrible. And they're mad because, like, well, I have freedom of speech. But as they kept saying also, freedom of speech is not freedom of consequence. They kept, that's what they lived by and kept using in lockstep.
I did a live stream this morning. I was a little more rattled by it, but I'm like, look, there's not had time to think about it. There's a huge difference between trying to get somebody fired for following the wrong Twitter accounts or reading the wrong book or openly voting for the wrong presidential candidate, quote unquote, finger quotes here. Big difference between that and literally delighting in the death of someone, advocating for political violence, even if you didn't like the guy. The fact that you're openly celebrating political violence in the United States of America, I don't want you working for me.
No, and then they have other lists like do these people next and stuff like that.
They're making lists of people they want next. Yeah.
Yeah, this is, and then you're like, guys, we need to calm down. They're having hateful rhetoric, and I'm like, wait, excuse me. And here's the thing: it's like I always was center left until recent years, when basically anybody right of far left is considered alt-right Yahtzee. So whatever, like 90% of America is considered alt-right at this point by these idiots, but they had no problems trying to go and get people canceled. They would assign, what they thought you were. They would assign a political party to you based on what they assumed you were on your comments, and then go out of their way to try to cause you problems. We got death threats. We got a rape poll made about me. We got people sending us things saying our kids should kill themselves. Why? Because we didn't like She-Ra and the Princesses of Power. Or we thought that Masters of the Universe Revelation wasn't that good. And I wish I was and prom and gay prom and Owl House, which we actually said Owl House wasn't bad. The insanity of these people.
That's what it is. It's insane. It's mental illness.
They wanted us dead because we didn't like a fucking cartoon. There's a comma there, even though they would have no comma. And they wanted us dead. If people didn't like Star Wars, or they didn't like stuff these people liked, they would label you, and they would literally call your work and try to get you fired because you told them no. This is way different.
This is a whole nother level. There's so many things here. And this is what I think hit me this morning. Now that I've had time to process it, is I thought for years, it was hyperbole. You had these hyperbolic statements on YouTube videos, they want us dead. They want us dead. And people, they make jokes about like, yeah, we would just round up all the Nazis. No. People show their true colors. They literally are delighted if their political adversaries get killed. They think it's a good thing. They think it's funny. They're celebrating it. This is not what we do in America. I don't care if you like the guy, didn't like the guy, whatever. We don't celebrate this in America. We don't do it here. And I'm sorry, if you were working for me and I saw that you were celebrating this guy's death, if you were working for me and I saw you were celebrating the death of someone on the other side, if you thought it was funny that, God forbid, somebody, shot Joe Biden or whatever, and you thought that was funny and he had it coming, I'd tell you, get the fuck out of my business.
Right. I think that was the case. People would demand they be fired too, rightfully so.
Yeah.
But listen, I think it's so funny they keep using it because they're fascists. And that's what was tied to this too, fascism. And here's the AI overview of fascism. Fascism is an ultra-nationalist political philosophy and system of government characterized by a dictator leader, centralized autocracy, forcible suppression of opposition, and subordination of the individual to the state or nation. It's typically involved a strong cult of personality around a leader, nationalism, in this case, a belief, or, things like that, superiority, things like that. How's it different? You got these people who have been radicalized by the colleges, media, and everything else, thinking that, using force to silence somebody, kill somebody because they're the opposition is okay. It's a cult-like behavior. You're acting like the fascists that you claim you hate. And then supporting this and laughing about it and acting like it's everybody should be doing this is exactly what you're claiming everybody else is doing when they're not.
Yeah.
And you're just mad because they're speaking out against you now.
And again, there's a huge difference. Like, I am a free speech advocate. There's a huge difference between saying, hey, I think Trump's a poo-poo head, or I think Charlie Kirk can, whatever. And people are making all kinds of comments about him before, he was killed. There's a huge difference between that and I'm glad he's dead and tee-hee-hee. And here I am celebrating on TikTok. Actually, I forgot to tell you, TikTok actually updated their terms of service. They will not tolerate people gloating about Charlie Kirk being killed. And that's after Blue Sky cracked down on it. Like, again, you don't have to like the guy, right? I'm not telling you have to like the guy, but in America, we do not assassinate people who disagree with it and then gloat about it. Because that was the thing for me, like, regardless, like, of who did it. And they caught the guy, by the way. His family and his pastor turned him in. And it's that's a kid. He's a 22-year-old. It's a white dude, not trans. But clearly, as you'd say, pickled by the ideology. He started.
If he's the only one involved.
If he's the only one involved, we don't know how far it goes, right? But regardless of who did it, okay. The issue for me, the biggest eye opener for me was how people reacted to Charlie Kirk's death. Did they show basic humanity? Again, you can say, hey, I didn't agree with the guy, but this is wrong, and my condolences to his family. Former Democratic presidents did that. We had the late night show hosts do that. Now, whether or not
ironically, they were part of the reason why this happened.
I know they were, but I'm saying, even if you deep down are like, I'm okay with this, like, for God's sake, don't post that. This is not the time. There's no sense of decorum, and all you're going to do is escalate an already toxic powder keg of a situation. Like, we're at this crossroads right now where I don't know if there is any coming back from this. I'm gonna be honest.
Anyway, to the point of this whole video, because if I get Kneon started, he's not going to stop. To the point of this whole video,
I'm angry because I didn't think they were this crazy.
Oh, I did. But to the point of this video, there's all these outlets that, we've talked about how it's a lot of these media outlets, I think, are responsible for this radicalization and deliberate, incitement. Is the fact that they are constantly like, get the fascists, they're Nazis, get them. And now the people that have written articles about it are like, guys, this is bad. They're threatening people on the left, and they want them to take their jobs. I'm like, they're not just threatening random people on the left. It's the people that are gloating and like putting these posts up and things like that, and especially ones that are in positions of power or like that are heads of schools and things like that. And you're like a teacher or you're a doctor or a nurse. Yes, that's very questionable because you're supposed to be, neutral in this kind of situation, and you're not.
They're not, and they're trying to play like they're trying to put the mask back on after it slipped. Like, I'm looking at this article from Time, and you can't see it, but I can see what the original title of it was. Their current title is From Firings to Threats of Deportation. Commenters deemed offensive after Charlie Kirk's death faced consequences. Okay, that's a newsy headline. The original headline is Right Seeks to Cancel Charlie Kirk Commenters for Wrong Speak.
Are you effing kidding me?
There's a huge difference between I disagree with your politics, I vehemently disagree with your politics, and I think you're a mean person, and I literally am happy that our side or whatever is killing people. I'm literally happy this person died.
Well, the point of this video is the fact that there is this double standard, because now it's coming for them. When it was the other way around, they thought people did other things. They thought people were like, they were mad. It was sometimes stupid reasons. Like this person, didn't put a Black Lives Matter flag up, or this person said, question the vaccines, or this person did this person that. They were literally calling employers and doing everything they can to get them fired. People who were covering like the Amber Heard Johnny Depp trial, these people were calling they're calling, was he calling the FBI over it, trying to get them in trouble? Yeah. These people were trying to get people canceled, and it was okay. They wrote articles about how cancel culture is fine, and they should be canceled because it's not freedom of consequence when you say stupid things, and you should do more cancel culture until it comes for them, and then it's like, oh my God, the right who says they want peace are the ones getting us fired, and it's like, because how long do you expect people to take this shit till they just get tired of it?
You can't have peace if you've got a portion of people, especially in your company, who advocate for political violence. Like, you cannot have it. This isn't like,
across the board.
I don't care what. Yeah, I don't care. I don't care what side of the aisle you're on. We're America. We don't do this. This is wrong, right? And I'd say the same thing for the other side. This is wrong. You don't.
Well, I think most people agree. I mean, most rational people agree. It's the small, people. This group of people who have gone around for the last 10 years, dictating everything, being ridiculous with these totally impassable purity tests. They're getting their own way. They're getting themselves and their friends hired. They got to control the narrative. They've gotten to sit there and tell everybody else that they're fascists and Nazis or everything else for years. And they cannot take it when it's like that's coming back on them. Tide went out, tide's coming back in, bitch. It's going to wash you away, but you deserve it because you've been sitting here the whole time. Yeah. Asking for it. And the thing is, I hate to say that because I feel bad when people getting fired to some degree.
No, don't. But don't feel bad. These are the rules they set. And I'm sorry.
That's what I was going to say next. But they set the rules. They set the terms of engagement. They're the ones who they're the ones who wanted to speak in this language. And then people are like, okay, fine, we'll talk to you in your own language. And they don't like it.
When I was a kid, and I think I told the story before, but it's been a long time since I told the story. So we had a little bit of a contest. It was second grade. I remember it was my teacher's. I remember my teacher. I very distinctly. This is one of those memories that are burned in my brain forever. We had a contest to come up with a punishment for the kids who didn't write their names on their papers because the teacher got tired of trying to figure out whose paper belonged to who. And I won the contest. I said they should have to write their name 100 times on the chalkboard because then they'll learn how to write their names. Now it'll show them. 2 days later, I forgot to put my name on my paper. Mm-hmm. And I lost my lunch recess, and I had to write my name 100 times on the chalkboard like Bart Simpson. But you know what? I made the rule. Right. So, I was mad about it, but I'm like, and I remember even as a kid thinking, well, geez, I'm the one who set the rules, so I'm just, I gotta live by the rules I set.
So when even a child can understand it.
Yeah. But these people think and rationalize, not even like child. I mean, there's something else going on here, and we could talk. I mean, that's a whole nother issue, talking about mental illness, talking about, is there something else on a, supernatural level going on? I mean, there's definitely something that's messing with these people. That they're this frothing.
I think you have a bunch of people who are very susceptible and want to be accepted, and they find these groups that they think they're being accepted into, and that they just latch on to them, and they'll do anything they ask them to, anything they think they should do to make sure that they're part of this group. And I think that it's a lot of mental illness. I think it's a lot of the fact that there's a lot of disconnect between people now. The very fact that people are celebrating this it shows a massive disconnect from even being human at this point in time, and it's just very disturbing. The fact they're making songs or doing dances, I just can't understand it. Like the one guy that he was celebrating at the event, I'm like, I don't know how you can sit there and watch that and then think it's time for a party. I don't understand. Like I can't wrap my head around. I'm an older generation, so we were raised that this is not okay. Yeah. And I would sure as hell make sure my kids know it's not okay. They already know it's not okay. They're not down with it either. But this whole idea that these teachers and nurses and doctors and stuff are celebrating. There was I don't know what happened to it, but there was a college And these people were watching the video and over and laughing. And the one girl said, "That's wrong. He's got family. It's just not okay." And the teacher made that student leave.
Yeah, this is not. I mean, I talked about this morning. I said this reminds me of like you see this log and you turn the log over and you think it's that's a little rotten, but then you realize it is just absolutely infested with termites. Okay, and our institutions and our media are absolutely infested with termites, and we let it happen because we felt bad for the termites. We knew they were going to destroy it, but we're like, you know what?
First, it was because the termites would tell you that you're a bad person if you didn't let them be there.
Yeah, let me eat your house, bro. Let me eat your house because
and they were
you're
so
a bad
afraid of being a
person.
bad person. They'd be like, "Oh, you're right. Come on in." And then after they're in, there was never getting them out because it's like, wait a minute, now we have to draw a line because you're really out of line. No, you're a bigot. Yeah, you're a fascist. You deserve it because you're a fascist.
And I want to be very clear because on some levels, in many ways, I still lean left socially, especially. I'm not talking your run-of-the-mill Democrats. I'm not talking.
No, I'm not talking that either. I'm not talking.
I'm talking these
the
poison,
really crazy ones.
Yeah, these poison, terminally online, mentally ill activists that have commandeered the Democratic Party too. They've taken over the Democratic Party.
That's why everybody's leaving. They're fleeing the Democratic Party because of this. This is why you lost. I mean, that and the fact that Harris was a train wreck. But anyway, we have all these media outlets out there like Rolling Stone. Here, pull these up real quick. Like Rolling Stone, people are losing jobs for their criticizing slain free speech advocate Charlie Kirk.
Quote unquote free speech advocate.
Okay, yes. And then it's the same outlet that they showed up. Why cancel culture is good for democracy. History has shown us that those in power are obsessed with turning any form of accountability into a phenomenon that is intended to bring us into sudden doom. And they're talking about how you need to cancel people because, it's good for democracy to cancel people. Again, same outlet.
You set the rules. You set the tone. You said if somebody is a clear ideological danger, then they need to be removed from the workplace. And it didn't even matter if it was something as innocuous as, hey, I'm excited to play Hogwarts Legacy when it comes out. Well, that made you a threat to democracy.
They were swatting people because they said things like, you should, have social media guidelines for artists and stuff so that they aren't out there, ruining half your fan base. Or alienating, and that's SWAT worthy, guys. They're trying to get people killed via police and swatting or cause them severe trouble because they didn't say what they wanted to hear.
So here's what's going to happen. And this is why I said before, and I got pushback for it because people thought I was calling for violence, which I never would do. I'd never. Ever.
I don't know. No, that's just them trying to twist your words.
They're trying to twist my.
They're very good at that. Words about no. You don't need an assault rifle to hunt deer too.
Right,
that's not what I was saying. What they were saying, what I was saying, and what I was saying are two different things.
What I'm telling you is, and God help us. I hope nothing escalates to the point of more violence. We don't need more violence. What I think is going to happen, though, is I think there is going to be a hunt. I think what's going to happen is, if you did delight in this, that you are going to be forcibly ejected from your job. I think they might actually shut down. I was saying this morning, they might even shut down outlets that are underperforming if they think the entire outlet is infested with people that subscribe to this ideology.
The Wrap was posting about this. ABC News, Disney-owned ABC News. Was making comments. Do you have those?
I don't have the ABC one.
But they were making comments too. They were like saying, oh, guys, they're like, they're trying to get people in trouble. They're trying to cause, there's a list trying to get people in trouble.
Yeah, and there is a list. And at this point, like, I'm sorry, I misunderstood. I thought you were joking when you said tee we should hunt Nazis. I didn't fully grasp that you literally mean kill people.
I did because these people are mentally ill.
Well, I knew that, but I didn't think they would actually do it. But they're actually doing it. And it's so much.
I'm honestly surprised that I'm more surprised what the target was, I guess is what I'm trying to say, because this person wasn't somebody who, he just sat there and wanted to talk to people. But then again, I guess
that's why
the discourse is more dangerous, because you won't just you won't just listen to what I have to say and accept it. You expect me to debate it. You expect me to explain it. You expect me to think. Well, thinking scares me. So, and I don't understand it because we were raised to question everything and think it through.
People joke about, latchkey kids being on their own and It's like, how is it that a generation of latchkey kids has better moral compass than a lot of these people now, these activists now? I don't know. I think it's because I'm gonna be honest. I think it's because we felt bad, because we had compassion for so long, that we're like, well, you know what? You're allowed to just whatever. I'm like, when it became obvious that there was some dangerous ideology going on, these people were destructive, there needed to be a reckoning then, and be like, look, shut the fuck up, or you're out of the company. But the thing is, a lot of bosses now, because the termites have worked their way into the system, a lot of bosses believe the same thing.
Probably. But I'm just like, to the point of this video, which you keep taking off the point of the video.
Well, I'm angry.
The point of the video is that, like for Gina Cron, for example, they were making targeted efforts, concerted efforts. They harassed her for months, making efforts like to do everything they could to get her fired. And that's okay. And these people are like allowed to just, make lists, go after people. We had the Whisper Networks trying to get people canceled in comics and all this stuff. And it was okay when they did it. But now they're like, oh, guys, this is wrong. You shouldn't be getting people fired. Cancel culture's bad. It's really dangerous rhetoric you have. But it's you guys you are the ones who set the goalposts. You are the ones who set the rules of engagement. You are the ones who did this.
Yeah.
And then you're like mad that's happening to you. I don't know what to tell you. It's like, you can't have rules for thee, but not for me.
Yeah, and I think this is going to be, ironically enough, and lots of people have called this out because his company name was Turning Point. This is going to be the turning point, because I think what's going to happen is, on the left, I think the old school liberals are going to realize that they're not speaking the same language as these activists, these radicals. And they're like, oh shit, we're not the same. We are not the same. And you've already got so many older liberals disavowing the assassination. You've got Stephen King being like, I shouldn't have said that, but again, these people spent how many years stoking the anti-Trump hate and whipping people up into a frenzy to think that, even if their neighbor voted for Trump, they were a literal Nazi and they need to stop talking to him. And
you also have no one's learning anything, because on the comics beat, we have Red Hood's Gretchen Felker Martin has no regrets about social media posts. And they're in here like going, I have no regrets for what I said about Kirk. She had said, had privately reached out to members of the creative team and about what happened, because they got fired. The whole book got canceled.
Oh, poor
Kirk's
Gretchen.
murder just didn't strike me as an especially hot flashpoint, she said. This is such a loathsome person. Everyone on the entire internet is talking about how pleasant it is that he got his ... I saw that he had died in the middle of spreading more of his bigotry, that he spent every waking moment in a way that he had advocated for others to die.
I don't think he ever advocated for anybody to die.
And felt nothing but contempt for his life. This is a man who I've watched for years go on television and on enormous stages of convention halls and say that me and everyone like me should be stoned to death. Trans person. And he didn't say that, actually. It's either a trans person or a lesbian. It's one of the two. And that's not exactly what he said. But beyond that, this person gets fired for being a heinous individual. And then the comics beat posts an article called "They're Not Sorry" and gives a whole big paragraph about what they said and and how they could, and then go on to say, here's examples of why this person's correct.
So okay, so apparently, see, I didn't realize this was the same.
Oh wait, it gets better though. It gets better.
Okay.
It gets better.
Okay.
As soon as you hire me, you're going to get between 5 and 100 of your craziest people you've ever met in your life screaming for my head and yours. They told their editor when she was recruited for the Red Hood. And they're trying to act like she's the victim.
Yeah.
That she's the victim, that, it's unfair because, every writer here should be decrying this because they have to stand up for each other. This is ridiculous and stuff like that. That's what Roxane Gay had said after they fired this person and everything. So instead of being like, you know what, guys, again, comics beat, who Heidi McDonald may or may not have been part of the Whisper Network, wink, wink, that was going around trying to cancel other people. They're now making excuses for this piece of shit who made comments.
No, in this case, again, this is a business we're talking about. And they're like, well, everybody on social media. I'm like, no, because you're on Blue Sky, Gretchen. You're on Blue Sky, and you're surrounded by people that are batshit crazy too. And apparently they said, as soon as I said it, I knew it was going to be a problem. I'm like, well, then, again, live by the sword, die by the sword. You knew it was going to be a
You
problem.
could have taken, people could have taken the high road and been like, you know what? I said it in a moment and I thought about it and it was really wrong and I shouldn't feel this way. And I'm examining why I feel this way. Like other people got caught out, like Stephen King and stuff, for doing that. And it's like, because they're afraid they're going to get canceled and they're going to lose their jobs too. But even if you at least apologize and acknowledge that maybe, maybe I need to step back because maybe I'm too pickled and maybe I'm saying some really shitty things, people could be at least a little bit like, you know what? Okay, at least you're acknowledging it. And when someone acknowledges something, they can learn from it, they can grow from it, they can make changes. The fact that they're doubling down and going on again about, she even saying more toxic shit, they're platforming the toxic shit and even trying to defend the toxic shit. What the hell, Heidi?
I'm gonna, well, you know kind of where she's at with it, right? And there's a difference between the old school liberals and the radicals, and I am going to give a bit of friendly advice and a bit of a little warning here. If things go down the way I think they're going to go down with the suspect, if you were flying the Antifa flag in your bio as a comic book creator, you might want to make sure you've scrubbed that, because they're going to go looking. And if they find it, and I'm just telling you, like, you might want to if you would like to continue working professionally, you might want to distance yourself as much as possible. Just a hunch I have. And again, people can have their political opinions, whatever, but this isn't like, poor her. She got canceled because, she was happy that somebody died. Ask Mags Visaggio how that worked out. Mags has not worked, I don't think, professionally in months or years because Mags was violent or fantasizing about violence. I used to think, haha, it's a joke. I don't think it's a joke now. I think a lot of these people, if given the opportunity, would hurt people.
Yeah, because you accept me as what I believe, or else.
And it's not even a trans thing. That's not even the issue. Just you got mentally unstable. I mean, again, the shooter was not trans. It's just, but you've got people that are so unstable because of being probably terminally online, indoctrinated in college, whatever. They literally think they're shooting literal Nazis.
They think they're the hero. They think they're doing something good. They think they're the hero.
And I want to remind people, and I tweeted this morning because I know Tim Russ from Star Trek, it was Tuvok and Voyager, has been going on. He's been delighting it too. And a lot of the Star Trek actors are. And I'm like, if there's one thing that Star Trek taught me, is that violence is always the absolute last resort. That you, even with the most loathsome enemies, you try to talk it out first. You try to find some understanding.
Yeah, but he was trying to talk it out, and then that was,
exactly. And that's why they had to take him out, because he was too powerful.
And I don't agree with everything he said either, because I honestly didn't really know who he was, to be fair, until this happened, and I was looking into it and more, and I'm like, well, there's a lot of things that he said that I don't personally agree with. That being said, I'd still have a conversation. That being said, I never believed in a million years that he should be killed for it. I never would have thought he'd been somebody who would have been targeted like that over because it was, pretty moderate for the most part. I mean, there were some things that, I was like, oh, I can see people are a little bit, but not like to, to argue, not to kill somebody over. Nothing he said warranted that.
No,
this is insane. And I think everything can be summed up with, it's insane, because you have a lot of fucking insane people. The nuts are running the asylum, and they've been running the asylum for 10 years. And you gotta stop this, because they said that they're the ones that were canceling everybody. They're the ones that were like, out there actively, trying to get people fired, out there actively trying to cause problems for people for years. And now that, people are saying, okay, you've gone too far this time. Now, even though you never went too far the first time, you went too far this time. So how dare you? Help, I'm being oppressed.
Yeah, I'm sorry. There were your rules, and we're just playing by your rules, right? And it's going to make things so much harder. I don't think you understand. It's like I said, I don't think the shooter, if his goal was, and it seems to be, I mean, we never know what's going through people's heads, but it seems to be on the surface, his goal was he was anti-fascist, quote unquote, and he was going to take out someone he thought to be a fascist. You've just opened up Pandora's box now that people are going to be basically hunting. And I'm not talking physically hunting. I'm like, they're going to be ferreting people with that ideology. They're going to be ferreting them out of their companies and their schools. And they're going to basically throw a bunch of people out in the street. Even if you're not as radical, because that guy is going to become the poster child for the left, like it or not, even though a lot of people on the left have denounced him, that's what's probably going to happen. And they're going to go through and they're going to start chucking people overboard. Even if you didn't do anything, they're going to be like, you seem like a radical, you're not getting hired.
Right.
Like
and the thing is, your best is keep your mouth shut. Like, don't write stuff. Don't say stuff. Just don't delight in somebody else's death. It's not that hard. That's a basic human thing.
And I would say that of anybody on any side. Like,
yeah, I would too.
Just have some empathy. I mean, you should not be happy about anybody being hurt, anybody dying. I mean, I thought it was an incredibly poor taste for people to be making jokes about Nancy Pelosi. People were saying shit about the Democrat that was killed. I'm like, why are you doing that? I mean, somebody.
Yeah, I didn't think that was right either. It was like that they and his wife and their dog and stuff like. I'm like, none of that was okay. None of it was ever okay.
I mean,
you never heard us making like comments.
No,
like that
I never would because
it's asinine.
It's basic human decency, and it's like, how the hell is it that a generation of latchkey kids has more empathy and human decency than these kids that had like helicopter parents? And it's like, what the hell happened? What happened? And I think the colleges are to blame for a lot of it.
I know the colleges, but they were doing this shit back when I was in college, and it's just gotten exponentially worse.
So anyway, there we go. I guess my thing is like, I'm all out of empathy. I've seen people get tossed overboard for stupid shit. Like I said, wrong tweets, followed the wrong person, gave a lukewarm conservative opinion on something, and they
didn't want to do vaccines.
They didn't want to vaccinate because they didn't have all the data yet. And whatever.
How many nurses are fired because they wouldn't take the mandatory required shot? There was a whole bunch of nurses fired. That was worked the whole way through pandemic.
Yeah, I think one of the nurses actually at our practice got gone because of that. But that was another case of it's like, which is it? Because it was like my body, my choice. Okay, fine. Unless we're dealing with vaccines, experimental pharmaceutical products,
science,
and then you have
why
to do
is global warming science, but other science isn't science? You know what I mean? Come on, believe the science, but we don't have to believe the science.
It's like just stop. I mean, this has to. And again, you're not gonna win anybody over. If anything, the Charlie Kirk shooting has created more radical right wingers than I think any other event in recent history. Like, I don't think you realize.
Well, I don't think being radical the other way is.
I'm not saying it's right. I'm saying people are going to look at this and be like, oh my God, we need to have zero tolerance. I'm like, you've just done so much damage to your case.
There are a lot of people switching parties now. A lot of young people are switching parties because they're just like, they're just appalled by people around them and how they're behaving.
It's not even, it's to be happy about it. Even if you think he was a colossal bag of poo, to be happy about it, to be happy that we've got political violence in this country is you're not American. You're like, I don't know what the hell, but you're not American. We don't tolerate that here.
Anyway, can we wrap this up so we can talk about things that are more fun?
Yeah.
I love you, but you've been like,
I'm angry. This for me, something in me broke when this. I don't even know who the guy really is.
Great.
But just you're like, oh great, now I got put. But no. I don't even really know who the guy is. I never really followed him. But the fact that all these people I thought you would at least be human enough to be like, yeah, I didn't like him. That sucks, though. We shouldn't be shooting people. I didn't want him dead. No, there were so many people, and they're working in comics, they're working in gaming, they're working in, and they're just like, oh, yeah, I'm glad he's dead. Near. I'm like, oh, my God, you're not even human.
No.
You're not even human.
This is vile. But anyway, but the point of this was the media and the people in the media are now demanding that you shouldn't be canceled when they were the ones demanding cancellations for years.
Yeah,
it's just, it's cosmic karma. And just don't be an asshole. It's not that hard. Don't be a vile piece of shit. It's really not that difficult, honestly. But apparently it is for some people. So are we going to wrap this up?
Yeah, we're going to wrap this up. So please subscribe for more pop culture. I swear to God, we talk. I wish talk more about pop culture. We have to talk about this.
I want to talk about pop culture. So
well, next videos are going to be about pop culture. We're not going to talk about this. It's all intersecting. So please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants. We'll talk later.
Bye.
For more pop culture news, views, and rants, go to news.clownfishtv.com. That's news.clownfishtv.com.